And we got to have a conversation about this Miami offense, notably around Tua Tagovailoa, who discussed being 0-2 for the first time in his NFL career.
When we were in 21, it wasn't just how we started. We could have been, 1-0, 2-0, maybe even. And then we went on that streak of maybe 6 losses, 7 losses, and then we came back and we won 8. And you go out there and you continue to play, do your job, do the best that you can, and the result will take care of itself, whether it's a win, whether it's a loss, and you continue to grow from that, continue to move on from that.
Keep it open or close it out. We start a quarterback with Tua, 18.6 points in week 2 here, Matthew, where things looked better for Miami, but that was against New England's defense without Christian Gonzalez. Can you still roll with Tua against a Buffalo defense that all but shut down the Jets offense in week 2?
I'm closing it out. First off, he has never been good against Buffalo. Last 3 full games against the Bills, he's averaging just 13 fantasy points per game, 13.1 to be exact. And by the way, he has traditionally struggled on the road. He is always better at home than he is on the road. Now now you're on the road for a short week against a Bills defense that's through 2 weeks is the number 1 passing defense in the NFL. And, partially that's because the Ravens were able to run on them in week 1. And then obviously, week 2, the Jets couldn't do anything against them. Right. So it's skewed by those 2 games. But still, the Bills are good. The Bills are at home. It's a short week. The Dolphins have looked bad, overall. So I'm closing it out. He's my QB 17. I might be actually too high on him. On him at QB 17. So there's a lot of guys that are questionable, that we don't know about their health, that they don't have great matchups here as well. Buffalo is second in the NFL in pressure rate. Tua isn't the most mobile guy in the world. So, no thank you.
Yeah, no Ed Oliver helps a little bit, but I think it comes down to kind of like what is Tua's scope to put up garbage time points? And that is what gives you a little bit of hope, is that if they're down by 2 touchdowns and he's throwing to Tirico and Jalen Waddle against the prevent defense, then maybe he can accumulate stats. But they're 12.5-point underdogs. Don't expect this game to be especially competitive. And if you're counting on Tua, you're counting on him, I think, in the 4th quarter.
Then, Jay, you asked what the scope is. We saw the Dolphins getting stomped by the Colts in week 1, and they weren't great in garbage time.
No.
So it's a tricky one. I definitely am with you. If you don't have to start them, do not. There's better options on waivers.
One of the challenges, though, I will say, though, given all the uncertain, so I'm in Scott Fishbowl, just whatever. Scott Fishbowl, my 3 quarterbacks are Jaden Daniels, Justin Fields, and Tua Tagovailoa. I mean,
what are you going to do, start concuss Justin Fields?
Well, that's my point, right? And I managed to get Tyrod Taylor, but Jaden Daniels is also questionable. And there's only, this particular league is super deep. There's not a lot on the waiver wire, and so do I really want to drop 2 viable players? Because I have a pretty good team. Do I want to drop 2 viable players for Marcus Mariota and Tyrod Taylor? Or do I start, and I'm probably not going to know on Daniels. Luckily, we at least got clarity on Fields. We know he's officially out this week. Yes. But, you may not get clarity on Jaden Daniels or some of these other guys that are, we don't think J.J. McCarthy's going to play, but we don't know 100% yet. It doesn't look like he's going to.
Could be a couple of weeks.
Right, exactly. So I'm just saying you may have a decision if you're in a deep league, you're in a 2-quarterback league, there's a scenario where you're going to have to start Tua on Thursday because you're not sure what's going to happen on Sunday. In an ideal world, you are picking up Tyrod Taylor for Justin Fields. You are picking up Marcus Mariota for Jaden Daniels in case he can't go. I prefer both those guys to Tua on Thursday.
Who do you prefer between them, though? Mariota and Tyrod, if they're both going to start?
I think I probably prefer Mariota.
Should run more?
I think he'll run more. I just think it's a better offense. They're at home against the Raiders. They're at home against the Raiders, and they play the Thursday night game. So they're on the mini bye. They've had 10 days to prepare for a Raiders team that played on Monday night. So their Raiders are traveling on a short week against a Commanders team that's had 10 days to prepare. I think the strength of the Raiders defense is more that line than it is their secondary. And Mariota, in the 1 start he made last year against the Cowboys, looked pretty good.
Right.
He's a good fit for Cliff Kingsbury's offense. So I prefer him, but it's close, right? I mean, Tyrod Taylor is also, again, similar to Justin Fields, smart by the Jets, a similar style quarterback. You don't have to change your offense. Exactly what we saw with Burrow to Browning. He's just a lesser version of the guy and he's going to run the same offense. But Tyrod will run around and get you some fantasy points. I think I prefer going against the Raiders than I do against Tampa Bay. That game's in Tampa.
Yes.
Jets against the Bucs.
I will say while we're on Tyrod, quickly, I've gotten a lot of questions the last 24 hours if you have to sit Garrett Wilson. I think it's actually the opposite. I think Garrett Wilson gets a mini bump with Tyrod that he didn't have with Fields. I know he had a good week with Fields week 1.
Yeah.
Fields missed him a ton in week 2. Tyrod and him have had a good connection while taking reps when Rodgers wasn't ready and now when Fields, was not always playing in camp. So I'm not sitting Garrett Wilson. I want to make that clear.
think
It's
that's
Tyrod.
But where are you, real quickly, because we're off the rails already, where are you, Connor? You go to Jets practice, you cover the team. It's one of your 8 billion jobs. Where are you on Tyrod in this offense?
Pass game gets a little bump. Run game, because of how many things you could do with Fields, definitely gets downgraded, right? It's going to close off some opening lanes. The quarterback's not going to run as much, but I think he gets a little bump for notably Garrett Wilson. I think they throw to Breece Hall more. Justin Fields, one of his problems is he just misses outlets all the time, so the running back should get more pass-catching opportunities. Tyrod threw the ball better than Fields this summer when I was there. Fields does more things,
Sure.
but Tyrod naturally throws the ball better.
I think there's also a misconception around Tyrod that he's like dink and dunk game manager. Like,
He'll
Tyrod
take
airs
shots.
it out. Yeah, he'll chuck it deep.
The Giants a couple years ago.
Exactly.
For sure. All right, let's get to our running back side of things
Where
here.
would you be on the same question? Marcus Mariota or Tyrod Taylor?
That's tricky. That's really. I think I would probably still go with Mariota because the Raiders' secondary does not look good.
Tampa Bay looked pretty good, I thought, on Monday night defensively.
Yeah, Todd Bowles, he knows a thing or two. Now, Kalijah Cansey's hurt. There's a lot of weird injuries with Tampa. I think I'd go with Mariota for the floor of it.
But I think it is a little bit of a coin flip.
Yeah, a lot of people are dealing with this right now with all the quarterback injuries.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.